One of the favorite parts of my job when I worked here was just keeping up with all of the new developments at Verizon. I was here right during the Fios rollout, so I got to talk about Fios and Fios TV a lot. And I was here during some of the early LTE days. And it just seems like there was always something new. So I thought I'd ask and see if Link knows about anything new or something that might be coming. And then we're going to go to Jolly as soon as we do this.
So in the area of networks, starting with that first, obviously most of you recognize that we've been deploying something called 4G technology, which is the fourth generation wireless technology. We have been conservatively saying the speeds would be between 5 and 12 megs down and 3 to 5 megs up. I actually have it out where I live. I'm 28 miles from Washington. I can't get Fios out there, but I can get 4G. And because I'm in a rural cell site, I'm getting 15 to 18 megs on a regular basis, which is extremely good. And it actually has done that in a lot of other places too. I've seen measurements on Fios on 4G that are actually very high. So I'm really pleased with that technology because we're already at 200, I think we're around 260 million people can get access to it today. The deployment is supposed to go through next year, 2013, so we should have it finished by then. And it should be pretty much the same footprint as 3G technology, which reaches around 96%, something like that, 95% of the population. So that's a pretty good deployment. So I'm really pleased about that. I think it's a good technology for people. I think they're going to find a lot of value to it. Fios, as we just announced, a 300 meg service. We started out when I first was working with Fios, I think our initial offering was 10 megs and 2 megs up. So today we're at 300 megs down and 65 megs up. And when you think about this in the context of a T1 line, which was kind of the workhorse for small businesses not too long ago, there's still $300 for a T1 line. And I think our 300 meg service is in the $200 range. So you're not only talking about, I mean, hundreds of times the speed, you're talking about a price that's actually lower too, so pretty incredible. We've actually tested a gig to a home with Fios, with the new PON version of PON that we have in Philadelphia. So I think that technology can do a lot of good going forward. I think the thing that's most interesting from the company is that we have a business model that's really changed a lot. So we actually have 2 labs now, one in Waltham near Boston and one in San Francisco. And I just went to the San Francisco one. That whole lab, it's called an innovation lab, is focused on helping to encourage entrepreneurs to develop apps for 4G technology. And it's basically a lab that has a 4G network that's shielded, so it's basically you're able to bring an app in. We have our engineers there working with you as an app developer and entrepreneur. We have a partnership of, I think, 8 or 9 venture capital companies. So one of them is one we have an interest in, but other ones are just companies that are available and are willing to finance different kinds of ventures. And it really is incredible with the kind of innovations that are going through that lab. And if you would have thought about Verizon even 5 years ago, if you walked into a wireless store, everything in that store was pretty much Verizon. I mean, the phone took 18 months to get on the network. All the apps, to the extent there were any apps in those days, were pretty much ours. The device was pretty much controlled by us. And today it's just the opposite. A lot of stuff on that phone is either the operating system built by somebody else, or the apps certainly are not, and mostly ours apps or other companies building the apps. So we recognize we've got to change our business model. We've got to have one, we can't do it all. We've got to have other companies that are helping to build this technology and promote new applications. So in Waltham, it's actually a device lab. It's not an apps lab. So in that lab, we're encouraging companies that are entrepreneurs to have devices to come in and try them. Same kind of setup though. There's an RF shielded system, so we have our engineers there and they can work with people. And there's a lot of innovations that have come out of that lab. There's a company called BL Health, for example, that has come up with a whole system of devices that are either clip onto your finger or you can hold in your hand, and they automatically send data through your wireless phone to the doctor about your health. And the nice thing about that is that for chronic diseases, there really is a need for the doctor to get regular measurements, sometimes as much as daily, from the patient. And this is a very easy way for the patient to do it. Plus, the doctor will know if you didn't do it and send you, and automatically a text message will come back saying, hey, you didn't take your temperature today, please do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And that was developed in the lab there. So, and then a venture capital company, I think we actually did have an interest in that one. We helped finance it, but it's actually in the market today.